If you didn't see the first video of Smokey, he had a pretty good issue with popping up in the front end. And now we've been riding him for a couple of weeks, and here is an update on where he's at now. He still will shy a little bit. You'll see he'll shy in just a minute, but he's not light on the front end like he was, not wanting to pop up. And you can watch him and just see that his mind is really starting to relax, settle in, and start to be a really nice horse. His popping up, he was confused. He just wasn't. He was trying to panic and react. He didn't know what to do, and pretty much all we've been doing is just walking and giving his mind a chance to relax. Here he's going to shy a little bit. Not real bad, and Robert's going to just kind of push him on, make him move his feet. I've talked a lot about making a horse move their feet when they're worried, and then he's going to go back to work. There's Robert's bumping with his legs, trying to make him move his feet. Move his feet, move his feet, move his feet, and go on. It's really important, and you notice Robert didn't just bang on him really hard to make him move his feet, but he just kept encouraging, hey, I'm the leader, I'm in charge, let's just move your feet and everything's going to be okay. I've talked a lot about that in a lot of videos. It's really important that you establish that leadership when they're worried. Now here he's coming back around to about the same spot. Robert's encouraging him to go forward and to go on past it. And this is how we've been working with him. And Smokey has a nice mind. He's not a stupid horse by any means. And in the beginning, I think the popping up was a reaction and wanting to get away from whatever he was worried about. And now we're just encouraging him to move on forward, and much, much nicer. You'll see as we continue walking him, his mind just keeps continuing to relax more and more. His eyes get softer, his face gets softer just as we're making him go around, just walking. Smokey is one of the three that came into us from Montana, and I'm sure he's enjoying the little bit milder winter. There you see him just starting to relax. He's chewing on the bit a little bit, but it's not like a worried chewing, and he's not overly worried. Everything about his expression, about his walk, about his movements is just gradually getting a little bit better. When they sent him to us, what the people that own him own a ranch up there, and they want to use him to ride and check cows, check fences, that kind of thing. So now that we've got a mind that he's a little bit more willing to accept things, and he's relaxed, and his mind is where it can kick in and learn better. Now we'll start working with him with a rope. I'd like to be able to throw a rope off of him, drag a log, push some cows around, that kind of thing, which he's been around cows up there. So the pushing the cows, I think, is going to be pretty easy. We'll work on the rope thing, work on some tarp things, work on some obstacles. I'd like to get him where he'd show in like a versatility and ranch horse class. I think that'll give his mind some purpose. It'll help engage his mind and also help him with the job that he's going to have when he goes home. So if you remember the video from the first time we rode him when he kept popping up in the front end, you can see that his face has a totally different expression than what it did then. Much more relaxed, much more accepting, much more willing. And I talked about in that first video with that popping up, it's pull their head to the side and send their feet forward. That is the reaction to that. That's what the rider needs to do to that kind of action. If you have a horse that's doing that, that is what you need to do. Now, when you pull the head to the side, make sure you're just pulling on the one rein, because usually what causes this problem is pulling back on both reins and not giving the horse a place to go. A lot of times I see when people are riding with a single rein that's really too short, not short enough to get out of the horse's mouth, they're pulling on the one rein, the inside rein, but the reins are so short that they're also putting pressure on the outside rein. It's really important that you have a long enough rein, whether you have a popping up issue or not, that you have a long enough rein that you can get out of the horse's mouth. A lot of Western riders, just because they don't know any different, when they order a single rein, they order barrel reins, which are typically short, and then they start having issues similar to this with the horse popping up and they can't get out of the horse's mouth because the reins are too short, especially if you have a long-necked horse. So I see that a lot over here, and that's how that problem gets started unintentionally from the rider. They don't have any more rein to give the horse. We always ride with split reins so that we always will have enough rein to do what we want to do with them. But if you're not comfortable riding with split reins and you're riding with the single rein, make sure they're long enough that you can give the horse slack and get completely out of his mouth. Right there you see there's no droop in the reins, but Robert has enough slack in the reins that Smokey can put his head down and not feel any pressure on the bit. That's the important part. You need to be able to not put pressure on the bit when the horse is doing what you want him to do. Give that reward. You have to be able to give the reward. See, at this point, Smokey is really relaxed, just walking along. Really like what we're getting here. Robert turned to the left right there. Smokey stayed relaxed in his neck, relaxed in his face. You see he's chewing a little bit on the bit, but it's not a nervous chewing. That chewing I don't worry about at all. That's going to eventually go away. Some of that is boredom, and as we give him more to do, like throwing the rope and dragging logs and working with tarps, that's going to help that. It's going to teach his mind to focus. You always want to work on what the issue is in hand in front of you, and certain things are just going to take care of themselves as training progresses. And you should have an idea of how training progresses, know where you're going with training so that you know what needs to be worked on at that time. Many riders that ride these younger horses, that's all they've ridden is younger horses or greener horses, and don't have the experience riding more advanced horses. And it's really hard for a trainer that has not ridden more advanced horses to really know what to work on, what to ignore, what a good horse feels like, because they haven't spent the time riding that kind of horse. So if you are a trainer or you want to become a trainer, you need to work on find somebody who can help you ride advanced horses, really good horses. Because until you've ridden those good horses and know what a good horse feels like, you're not going to know what to reward with these greener horses. You're not going to know what you're looking for. It's kind of like getting in your car and driving around and not knowing where you're going. You just hope you end up somewhere that you want to be. Riding a green horse and not knowing what a good horse is like getting in your horse and riding around, or getting in your car and riding around and not knowing what your destination is. You have to know what your destination is. You have to have ridden really nice horses to know where you're going. So I'll put a link in the corner for Smokey's other video. I've only done one so far, but there'll be more out. And he's going to progress nice and be a really nice horse. Until next time, thank you for watching.